Morning keynotes in Vegas are pretty dangerous, huh? And normally they're supposed to give me like a table or something. What I'm going to do, I'm going to set this up here because I'm going to talk about that in a second. Well, welcome to Las Vegas. Welcome to Rare Evo. It's a beautiful event. I think we have the best booth game of all time. There's just so many incredible people here, a lot of friends, a lot of new faces. And it's great to be here. It's great to be here with everyone. You know, I was just at the Book.io event down in Dallas not too long ago, and the book guys, where are you guys at? Yeah, there we go. And then someone there asked me and said, you ever thought about writing an autobiography? And I said, yeah, I would title it Eventually True, the story of Charles Hoskinson. And that's kind of like Cardano, right? You know, we started with a lot of ambitions and goals a long time ago. It was almost 10 years now, 2015. The world was a very different place. I mean, it was just day and night when you look at the cryptocurrency industry back then compared to today, and Ethereum hadn't even launched. And we had these crazy ideas, like we could apply formal methods and write peer-reviewed papers and hire armies of scientists, and we had this field of dreams mentality that if we just built something, people would come. Well, you all came, didn't you? You're here. And when we look at what we've achieved, when we look at what we've built as an ecosystem, we are literally weeks away from the largest DAO in the history of the cryptocurrency industry, controlling one of the largest treasuries in the history of the cryptocurrency industry, built by and for the people of Cardano. We have DREPs, training happened today, some of you were in it, well yesterday, excuse me, some of you were in it. We have Constitutional Committee, we have SPOs, a lot of you in the audience are SPOs. Tripartite government, the first time ever constitutional republic has been put together with liquid democracy. It's a pretty cool concept. A lot of innovation there, a lot of cool ideas there. I was just in Argentina. Very passionate community down there. We actually have some. Where's our Argentines? There we go, there's Cami. And it was so cool. We met with Malay's government. We met with the mayor of Buenos Aires. We met with so many other amazing people. And they're incredibly excited to receive us down at University of Buenos Aires School of Law for the Constitutional Convention. We're going to have delegates from more than 50 countries all around to come and talk about what Cardano should be for the next 10 years and the 10 years beyond that. And what's extraordinary is every single time we as an ecosystem have asked, hey, you should step up and do something, people step up and do something. Here's an example. When we were talking about how do we showcase Hydra, because Hydra is amazing technology. We're so excited about Hydra. We designed extended UTXO specifically for Hydra. These types of things, this ability to move on and off the chain seamlessly. There's isomorphic. It just works. It's secure. It's fast. We said, well, we need something that everybody understands instantly, everybody's touched, everybody's done, that would put Hydra in a position where people realize how powerful the technology is. So one of the people that work with us, Trim, he messages me quite innocently over Slack, and he says, Charles, what about putting Doom on Hydra? And I said, it sounds like I'm giving you hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you're going to make that happen. And he did. Over by the booth, you can actually play on pre-prod Hydra running Doom, 35 frames per second, every frame a transaction. Now Twitter. I got something for you. Little math. You get 30,000 concurrent players, 35 frames per second, 35 transactions per second. That's about 1 million TPS. Yeah, we fucking did it. How about that? So, there's a lot of announcements. First, at the Cardano Summit, come October, a little challenge. We're going to try to get this done. So nobody's going to sleep. Because I like our Cardano Summit friends over in Dubai. Big and beautiful conference there. We're going to have a death match. People fight each other in Doom. We'll find a way to make it happen. Whoever wins gets $100,000 in USDM. How about that? Yeah, that's how we get to that 30,000 players. Why? Because we want to showcase the power of this. And that's just one of several concurrent scalability things that we've been looking at. Got roll-ups. Anybody from ZK Fold here? Well, we met Igor. There's a few other people. We can do that so beautifully because of Plutus V3, and it's coming in just a matter of weeks. We got Ouroboros Laos. The paper came out. Years and years and years of chasing. How do we beat the blockchain trilemma? Well, not only we beat it, we kicked its fucking ass. And we're working on it. We're working on it together at Intersect with all of you, prototyping in public with the people here. That's the difference of Cardano. We don't just say it, we do it, and when we do it together in the open, through the peer review process, through an open roadmap, through an open backlog, with many people coming together. Even Hydra, we had Adam Dean working on it, amongst others. Where's Adam? Floating around somewhere. Adam. Oh, he's actually playing. Oh, okay. So we had Adam working on it. We had so many other great people working on it. And it's the same with Laos. Just another example, partner chains. 2016, we said Cardano SL and Cardano CL. Well, guess what? We did it. Karen Chang and her team, wonderful people, they just released the beta of version 1.0 of partner chains. The very first one will be midnight. But you know what? World Mobile's here. They're the next one. There's so many amazing people coming, and every time we do it, it's a layer 2 to everyone. Trades with everybody. Brings millions of transactions into Cardano. Benefits the stake pool operators, benefits the network, and what are we selling? We're selling the most secure blockchain ever built in the history of this industry, powered by liquid non-custodial staking. And that's a promise and commitment we've made to everybody. We've maintained it for 9 damn years. Cardano doesn't go down. It's built like a tank. But it's fast now, so it's built like a Lambo tank. How about that? And we change a bit. So we had the Plutus application backend. Didn't work. People got frustrated about it. Developers weren't so happy with Plutus V1. So you know what it did? Made Plutus V2. And the community came together, created Aiken. They started investing in TypeScript. They started different paradigms. And what did we do as an ecosystem? We said, let's give these guys the resources. So I/O, we gave 2 full-time developers. The foundation for Aiken, we gave 2 full-time developers on TypeScript. Pivoted Plutus a bit to a high assurance stack. UPLCs never looked better. And all of a sudden now, you can write Cardano applications easily in different languages, quickly. That's just a few years of DevX improvements. It takes about 3 to 7 years to make a good language, and guess what? We're about 3 years into it. What does that mean? It means we have a good language now. It means we have a good DevX now. It means that people can actually build amazing experiences and things. And if you doubt me, Bankless, who's not here, look at all the booths. Look at all the people. Does this feel like a ghost chain to any of you? Hell no. They're scared of this ghost. It's a pretty real ghost. Sticky ectoplasm ghost. Use an old South Park reference. It's pretty amazing, Hydra. Pretty amazing where we're at. So I have another announcement. I said we have a few announcements. You know, for years and years and years, I was talking about merging old things and new things together. I love Lace. Lace is pretty special and magical to me. I want Lace to be the best wallet in the world, and little by little we make it better and better. So this right here is a paper wallet. Okay, paper wallets have a problem. They're magical and amazing. You print them out, you put them in your safe. Usually you write keywords down. But here's what happens. If you print a paper wallet, printers are among the least secure infrastructure of all hardware ever made. Very easy for people to just replay, meaning just tell the printer to print the last thing it printed or whatever's in the buffer. So you print a paper wallet, what happens? The person just prints it again, and now they have your private keys. Not so good. So what do? You encrypt the private keys. So put 2 QR codes, one for public, one for private. And I said, well, how do you encrypt it? You can use a password. Passwords aren't so secure. It's 2024. So perhaps let's use PGP because everybody has it. It's been around since 1991. So I said, you know, it would be super cool to do a bug bounty. And we love our friends at USDM. So I said, how about we do this? Because 3M did this years ago. If you can hack it, you can keep it. Let's create a paper wallet. If you can hack it, you get to keep the stuff on it as a bug bounty. So we put $1 million on a paper wallet. And you guys can try to break it. And if you can break it, it's yours. Why? Because I believe in PGP. I believe in cryptography. And this is coming to Lace for all the assets that Lace supports, including Cardano native assets. So when you create your wallet and you create a backup, what do? Eventually, as the interface evolves, you upload your DID, which has some cryptographic credentials, it encrypts it, you print it out, you put it in your safe, or leave it on the coffee table. It doesn't particularly matter because people can't break this. That's usability. These are the things we're thinking about. There's so many things that the Cardano ecosystem and the broader cryptocurrency ecosystem is evolving and growing with. And every single day, people in this room, people outside of this room are united in asking the question, how do we make it simpler, faster, cheaper, easier, better? Why? Because we want crypto to take over the world. That's why we're here. We're not here just because numbers go up. We're not here just because crypto's fun and exciting and we get some good memes. I'm sure it's fun. But at the end of the day, if our goal is to change the economic, political, and social systems of the world, what ought we do? We ought to make the system that does that easy to use, effective to use, and usable for everyone in the world, not just a few people. So that's the point of LACE. That's the point of Hydra. That's the point of games. That's the point of governance. That's the point of peer-reviewed research. That's the point of what we've put together as an ecosystem, is to make these things work. It's a harsh industry. That's why I say eventually true. It's really harsh. It's tough. It's hard when you do amazing things as an ecosystem, when you write incredible papers, you solve incredible problems. As a project, you work hard every day, 80 hours a week, 100 hours a week, sleepless nights, don't spend time with family, miss the death of relatives. You're not there for special events. And after you put on all that effort, then somebody says you've done nothing, you've achieved nothing, you are nothing. But you know what? The most valuable advice I've ever gotten is widen the aperture. Over the horizon of time, look at what we've done in 10 years. We started as an idea on a whiteboard with nobody. No papers, no code, and we're here today, now. Think about that. Because we have principles and because we care, and not once did we ever violate the core of who we are. We still write papers. We still do the formal methods. We still are rigorous in what we do. And that's why Cardano has been up for years and years and years, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's why when they try to DDoS us, not only does it fail, we take their money. That's because of you. It wasn't me. It was a community member who did that. Don't fuck with Cardano. It's who we are. We never once compromised, and we never will compromise. And that's why I'm so proud. People say, aren't you scared about Voltaire and this decentralized government coming in? Aren't you worried? You know, first it's the press, and they always hate everybody. They think everybody's stupid. I say, no, this ecosystem's a lot smarter than me. I made Plutus, they made Aiken. Come on. I'm excited to actually turn this over to everybody because you know what? Collective intelligence is so powerful. Your ability to coordinate and collaborate, to work with other people, verify what other people are saying is true, and solve problems together, that is what makes the difference. That is what builds great things. You get 3 people together talking about something, you get a paper. You get 1 million people together talking about something, you go to the moon. That's called the Apollo mission. We have millions of people. What can we do if we're united, if we're working together? There's been so much thought over the last 2 years that have gone into Voltaire and the collaborative model. It's not perfect. We call it minimum viable governance for a reason, because the minute that it comes out, you know what's going to happen is we're going to change it. We're going to demand new things, new voting systems, more inclusive ways of bringing people in. Say, perhaps we should go to multi-resource consensus. Well, we got a paper for it. It's called Minotaur. What does that translate to? You can vote with more than just ADA. You want it? Let's get it done. Let's figure it out. Let's put it together. And there's going to be dozens of people, some in this room, some not in this room, who now have the ability not only to demand it, but to vote on it and get it done and push it. The Cardano budget is the greatest single example of that. There's 1.5 billion ADA sitting in a treasury, ready to go for a budget to be pushed against it. And there's a huge debate starting at Intersect, and it's going to broaden, and every D-Rep and every Constitutional Committee member is going to have an opinion on it. And all the podcasters have an opinion of what should we fund? How many people keep saying, we need marketing, we need branding? Yeah, I completely agree, because it's about time we get some credit for the crap we've done, especially when Vitalik copies us. But how much do we spend? Who gets the money? What checks and balances do we put in? What's the audit and oversight look like? What is the ROI on that for us as an ecosystem? These are the questions, because every ADA matters. We all paid into it, 20% of each block reward. It's the people's money. That is the conversation we're having right here, right now, together as one community, out in the open, out in public. And it's messy, and people are passionate, and they're going to say stuff. But you know what? I guarantee you we're not going to wrap a bunch of private jets for $180,000. What we're going to do instead is we're going to communicate with one voice and one community, and we're going to figure out a way to show the world what we've built, which is the successor to Bitcoin. Cardano only exists because Bitcoin allowed it to exist. I know this because I started with Bitcoin back in 2011. So many of Bitcoin's ideas are embedded in the DNA of Cardano. They came up with UTXO. And we said it would be great to have smart contracts on Bitcoin. And all of these amazing people came together, and what did they do? They came up with conceptions of extended UTXO. And you know what happened? Year after year after year after year went by, and they say, we just don't do that in Bitcoin. So you know what we did? We put it in Cardano. Where did Cardano native assets come from? Well, there was this thing called color coins. I think it was around 2011, 2012, very long time ago, before almost everybody was in this room. And for years and years and years, people said, if only we evolve Bitcoin just a little bit, we can make it a great environment to issue assets on. And you know what happened? It never got done. I remember Chroma Wallet. I remember all of these guys. They're friends of mine. The same with Mastercoin, when it tried to build a layer 2 just to add some stuff back in. And you can go down the list one after another of so many amazing ideas that came out of the Bitcoin ecosystem, and we owe them for that. We should never discount the innovation. We should never discount the creativity. Their one failure was governance. They never figured out how to upgrade the system beyond the founder. And no matter how brilliant the founder is, no matter how great the technology is, eventually it's not fit for purpose. And the best it can do is whatever it was originally designed to do. So it's digital gold, and it will be worth billions and trillions for the foreseeable future. But that's not going to change the world. You can't run a government on it. You can't run an economy on it. You can't run a voting system on it. You can't run the world's supply chains on it. Believe me, we've tried. So instead of complaining, there was an ethos in the Bitcoin space. They said, if you don't like it, fork it. Well, we couldn't fork it because the code wasn't good. So what did we do? We built Cardano. That's what we did. And it has all the same principles: the deflationary monetary policy, the decentralization. We know it because we measured it. We were the first to create the Edinburgh Decentralization Index, and we look pretty good. And we recognize the single most important thing is to give everybody in the room a voice and a say. You don't have that with Solana or Ethereum or these other guys, but you have it with Cardano. So that's what we did. We gave them a say with on-chain governance. Is it perfect? No, but I'm not going to write a blog post saying just because it's hard we shouldn't do it. We do it because it's hard. Because if we solve this problem, we solve it for everyone in the entire industry, and every single dApp benefits from it. Every single dApp can use that governance system. Every single dApp can benefit from that pool of governance people. It'll take years for the industry to realize these things, but we're not going anywhere. We don't lose people, we gain people. If you get 0.1% better every single day, in 2 years you double. Think about that. Think about that. 0.1%, can you even tell that? And that's the story of Cardano. The slow, methodical march towards a better future. And each and every person in this room, each and every project here, you're part of that. You're part of an extended family. And we keep at it. We solve problems, and we can work together. This very event is an example of that. There were competing events, NFT XLV and Rare Evo. And JJ Seiler, where's JJ? There he is. I called him out. I said, JJ, he's my chief of staff. you gotta negotiate. We gotta get these events to merge. And it was tough. You know, both sides had some grievances. Both sides felt that they should be the community event, or at the very least they have their own thing. But for the good of the ecosystem, it didn't make sense to have two events right around the same time in Vegas. We're not that big yet. So you know what happened? They talked to each other. They listened to each other. And they worked something out. Could we do this in Washington? Can we do this in politics? No. But we can do it here, in this room, with these people. What does that tell you? That when we talk about the budget of Cardano, hard forks, the roadmap of Cardano, when we talk about how can we be competitive, what are we going to do? We're going to listen to each other. We're going to disagree and commit. We're going to get things done. We're going to teach the rest of the world that we can still work together. We can still trust each other. We can still get things done. That's the lesson of Rare Evo. And look how amazing this event is as a result of that. Look at all the people here. So, a lot of cool stuff coming. We're just getting started. Constitutional Convention. God help us all. That's going to be a fun one. Very tough. After we get the Constitution done, we still have to vote it on-chain, the ratification. That's going to be tough, too. A lot of good people are working on it. Lace is finally coming into its own. It's an amazing team, great people. If you have a chance to drop by the booth, you can see some of the other things we've worked on, like Reflect is a great example right over there. Just got Chrono shot out, a whole bunch of other things. Games are such a vital and essential part of adoption and growth, and that's why they're here. If you take a look at the booth, we also have Hoskinson Health and Wellness. People ask me about real-world use cases. They say, what about blockchain for XYZ, blockchain for A, B, and C? And I say, I agree. And you know what? I'll do it myself. So, we have a clinic. We're going to try to find ways to bring everything we do in that clinic into the cryptocurrency ecosystem because it restores integrity and gets things better. Got synthetic biology company. We almost got them here, but next year for Rare Evo, we'll be able to showcase some cool stuff from that. And again, I'd love to use it for the carbon markets and track and trace. Input-output is changing as an organization. We're always going to be building Cardano. In fact, we have a whole division. Ricky Rand. Where's Ricky? There he is. That's a GM of IO Engineering. He leads our engineering division. So they're the guys that work with Twig and Well-Type. Remember Duncan Coots? He's still around. Cardano Wizard, OG of OGs. And dozens of other development companies to build Cardano as a coalition working together through Intersect. But IO is also a venture studio now. Input-Output Group builds companies like Midnight, like Reflect, and dozens of others. And every single one of those has our principles. We build on Cardano. We build all kinds of interesting experiences. We get it done. So I'll close with Midnight because that's the future. And it's the next generation of blockchain technology. It's the last mile problem. We're almost there. We're in the third generation. With Leos and partner chains and Voltaire, we've solved the third generation. We'll win that fight. We're still in it. We're still competing. No one's won it yet, but we're going to win that one. So the fourth generation is just getting started. And what is the fourth generation? The fourth generation is about how do you bridge the legacy world and the crypto world together. And for that, we realize you have to solve a very fundamental question. How can a blockchain keep a secret? Real-world business, real-world applications, they have a public side and a private side. And right now, blockchains are super good at the public side. They're auditable, transparent, they're time-stamped, easy to use in that respect. But then when you go to privacy, would you guys feel comfortable with every email you've ever sent, every web search you've ever done, everything you've ever bought on Amazon being made public? I don't know. I'd get a good deal for hemorrhoid cream, you know. Probably not a good thing, right? We have a private life. Probably should keep it that way. So how the hell do you blockchain the entire world if you only do one half of the world? And the magic of Cardano is we knew this back in 2016. So we planned for it with partner chains and with Midnight. And when we bring this in, we bring in the other half. And we get it here first. And then we get to sell it to everybody in the entire cryptocurrency space. So Iran is going to be speaking. It's going to be a great keynote. You guys can learn a lot about that, but it just shows the innovation here, and it just shows how not only are we thinking about the fight today, but we're thinking about the fight in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Where do we need to go? And every day we get stronger, because when we get to that next level, which is so complicated and hard, we get there from day one with decentralized governance, from day one with one of the largest treasuries, from day one with a humongous base of developers, from day one with so many powerful people who are smart, fired up, excited, ready to go in hundreds of real-world use cases instead of a hypothetical. That's the magic of progress, and that's the magic of rooms like this. So thank you for being in the room. Tell the people who aren't how much they missed out, and next year it's going to be a lot bigger. Thank you, everyone. Cheers.